Hi, the purpose of this video, Pam and Abby and Lily and whoever else is home, is to kind of show you on video how to hook up the generator. Because as Murphy's Law would probably dictate, if the power goes out, there's a good chance I'm not going to be able to hook it up. So the first thing is, where is a generator? Well, I've been keeping it in the garage, so that's probably pretty obvious, but here it is sitting between the two cars. Now if you notice, it's pretty tight spacing, so the first step is you're going to need to back a car out because the generator cannot be run, or should not be run, in the garage. We're going to put it over by the pull-up bar, the swing, so we'll get that going. Okay, I backed the van out, and that's plenty far because we're going to end up putting the generator right about in this area. Okay, so that's where you need to have open space. So here's the generator. Let me show you something that's a little bit not self-explanatory maybe. There is a decal here telling you about the handles, but if you pull them out and then twist them, they'll kind of lock. Okay, this is a little bit harder to get out. Let's see. Pull them out, twist them so they're locked in the out position so you can wheel this thing like a wheelbarrow. So we're wheeling the generator here, and you can see this side, if you look at it, is the muffler side. So we'll kind of go over that. It says hot here. So this is going to get warm. This is where the exhaust comes out. You want that away from the house. And on the other side of the generator, the side with this thing, is where the propane gas is going to go. You want that toward the house. To start the generator, this is your pull starter, and you're certainly going to want to have open space behind there, so when you go to pull it, you're not going to run into anything. Also, what I'm going to show with this video is how to hook it up to propane. If you want to do it with gasoline, normally the generator is not going to have gasoline in it. I've drained it out because I don't want the gasoline to get bad in the generator, but the cap is here. Okay, it's got a little screen, kind of a filter that you pour the gas through, and then to figure out how much gas is in it, there is not a gauge. You could look in there with a flashlight, or you could take a stick if it's pretty clean, and it would show. You can see there's nothing, no fluid on here, but that would be a way to tell how much gas would be in there. But I'm going to just focus this video on hooking it up to propane. Once you have the generator in place out there by the swing, the next major area is here, over the water softener. Usually I have a bunch of junk here, so you're going to have to move some stuff out so you can reach it. Okay, and then there are two things that are situated here. There is the yellow cord, which is the power cord that's going to actually put electrical power into the house. And then you also have the black gas line that's going to supply the propane to the generator. So this is a Velcro line. We'll undo this. Get these lines out. And then also hooked up here are the two wrenches that'll help you hook the generator up. So this all needs to come down for hooking up the generator. So I have these kind of separated. So this is the gas line, like I said earlier. This is the electrical line, and that's what's going to provide the electrical power to the house. So you want to go ahead and unroll this, stretch it out, and you can see it about make it to the edge of the garage. So just leave it like that. While I'm talking about this cord, this is actually, you can remove it. This, if you twist and come down, the cord will pull out, okay? So it's set up like that. I don't know if you can see up in there, but I have a blue or a gold mark on hooking this thing back up. Normally, I'm gonna leave this hooked up, so you shouldn't have to mess with hooking it into this box. So if you look up and you can see that gold bar, we're gonna line that up with this gold bar and then do a little twist. And that is how the plug goes in. So this is a good spot to have the generator. Now this black gas line is gonna run from this fitting on the end where the pull starter is of the generator to the gas hook-in box. Okay, the gas hooking box, you just lift up like this. Maybe prop it with your leg. And then it has a little hook to hold it up. So the line is going to run from this fitting, which we'll take off, and go to this fitting. So these little metal fittings are just covers, okay? And that's just to keep mud daubers and spider webs out. Same on here. Use the wrench, loosen it. After that, you can finger loosen it. Okay, so this is where the gas is going to come out. If this is the valve, so if you turn it on now, gas is actually going to flow. You can hear it. Okay, that would be raw gas coming out. You don't want to do that for too long, but once you have this hooked up, you're going to turn this valve on. That's going to supply gas to the generator. So the ends of the gas line also have plugs in them. So I'm going to set the camera here, and hopefully I can do this in front of you. If you take the 2 wrenches, the bigger one on that fitting and the smaller one on this fitting, you can loosen this plug. Okay. Same thing on this plug. Okay, you don't want to drop these in the mud and get mud in there. Okay, so we have each end of the gas line ready to be hooked up. And then so you don't lose these plugs, you can take the caps that we used before and make sure you put these in a place where you can keep track of them, like in your pocket or in a bowl in the kitchen. But that's that. So once we have this disconnected, we have this line, and it's plenty long, and it'll run from the gas supply to the generator itself. So here's the hookup to the generator. You can start by finger tightening it. Nothing weird with the threads, standard clockwise to go on. Okay, once you get it, just snug it down. You don't have to crank on it too hard. Okay, and then over here, you're going to do the same thing. Twist this on. Till it seats. Okay, it's good and snug. Finish tightening it down. That's plenty tight. Okay, before I start this up, because we're basically ready now to turn the gas on, let's go and talk electrics. Okay, under this plastic shield is the controls for the generator. This has to be on for the motor to run, okay? It's not a starter, it's just an electrical path. This has to be up, the main breaker, for power to flow. And then if it keeps tripping, I rigged this thing to override that breaker, but normally you shouldn't have to mess with that switch, okay? This is a generator connector plugged in, twisted, just like over on the house. And then if you lift up here, here is the cord that you want to run here to the edge of the garage. And just like on the other, I have a gold mark, lines up with the teeth of this cord. So you push it in there, give it a little twist, and we are hooked up, ready for, we have an electrical path to the house. Okay, now we have everything hooked up. We have not turned the circuit breakers on to allow the electrical to flow into the main panel. We'll do that in a little bit, but let's go and start the generator. So step one, you have it all hooked up. Go and turn the gas on. Okay, that gas is flowing into this diaphragm, okay, but it's not flowing yet because it's a demand system based on the suction from this diaphragm. Now let me show you one valve that, just in case you run this on gasoline, you need to know about. Way behind the silver is this red thing. Hopefully you can see it. It's in the closed position now. That's where you want it at all times when you're running on propane. If you put gasoline in this tank and you want the gasoline to get to the carburetor or to the motor, you've got to turn this up. So that's on, this is off, okay? So real quick, to start it on gasoline, you would turn this like this. You would pull out on the choke. You would pull this to start. Once it started, you'd push the choke in and you'd be running on gasoline. Since we're going to be running on propane, you want this off. You do not want the ability of gasoline to flow from the tank into the carburetor. You want that off because all the flow is going to be from the propane. Okay. There's one other button that may not be obvious, but behind the silver diaphragm is a primer button. I'm going to point to it with my finger right here. When I push it, you'll be able to hear gas flow. Hear that? So if you push it for about 2 seconds, and then you pull the starter, there you have it running. If you want to turn the generator off, you can go here and turn this switch off, or come here and turn the gas off. It'll run for a few seconds and then it's going to shut off. So again, step by step. Gas on, prime it a little bit, pull it. So the gas that's running the generator right now is coming from this in-ground tank. Okay? There's about 400 gallons in here, and that can last about 30 days to keep the refrigerators and everything running. This is a gauge. We're over 80%. We're sitting at about 82, 83%. You never fill it up full. Okay? This valve allows the gas to flow. It's the same gas that would go to the stove top into the fire logs, but this is the source of the propane. So with the generator running, you should also have an indication that you're getting power at the plugs. If you look, there's a little green light here. There's another one here that's telling you there's power at the plugs. Another thing you can do would be to hook up something that needs electricity into those plugs. So I'll take this drill just as an example, plug it in there. Okay, so we have power at the plugs. So if you're troubleshooting and you don't have power here, well then you're not going to have power at the house. So after that, you'd make sure that the yellow cable's hooked up properly, and then so on and so forth. So now we're going to go inside and talk about the circuit breaker panel. So come on here to the hallway by the boys' room. If the power's out, the lights may not work, but you have two circuit breaker panels, panel A and panel B. The generator is wired only into panel B, and that's pretty self-explanatory. I'll show you why. So here's panel A, everything that it powers, and here's panel B. The way you can tell, it says operating instructions for generator power. Okay, so that kind of tells you these things. So if you look at all these circuit breakers, the generator can only power the low demand items. Okay, so the high demand items I'm going to go ahead and turn off. Attic air conditioner. You cannot power the air conditioner when you're on generator power. Well pump. Yes, you can power the well pump, so you want to leave that on. That's important. Ovens, it cannot power the ovens. And RV feed, generally you're not going to have the RV hooked up, so I'm going to go ahead and trip that. These other individual ones, they shouldn't demand that much, but for the big ones you're talking about is the air conditioner and the ovens. To get power into the house then, you've got to flip this on, okay? This would be flipping it to off so that you can flip this on. This one says mechanically interlocked breaker. So in order to get power from the generator into this panel, you have to turn off commercial power. So this is turning power off from the power company. Okay, some lights are going to turn off. You lift this up. Now you can turn this circuit breaker on. Okay, So now generator power is powering all these things that are in the on position. And of course the big ones are the refrigerators, the freezer, and the well pump. So you'll have water to flush toilets and those kinds of things. Some of your plugs will be powered. Your air conditioner won't be powered, but your refrigerators will be powered. So on generator power, you can see this refrigerator, the light's on. So that's telling you it's getting power. You open it up, yep, the light's on inside there. Come on out here. Here are the other two, the fridge and the freezer. Yep, it's running. Freezer's running. Right now that's all being powered by the generator, which we can hear running out there. So as you're going through life, if you want something powered that isn't powered by the generator, you need to find a plug that is powered and then run an extension cord to there. For example, the fish would need air, and I don't know for sure if this is powered on generator power. So if it's not powered, you need to find a plug that is powered by the generator and run that to the aquarium. Same thing for the televisions, for the modem, because some of those things may work even during a power outage. The last thing I like to go over is what to do when the commercial power or the house power comes back on. How will you know? Well, the big thing would be the circuits that were unpowered during the power outage, those that were available here on panel A, okay? Those will be powered again. Some examples would be, let's see what we got going on here. If the air conditioner comes on, that's one of the air conditioners is powered on this panel, and then some of the other lights, some of the stuff with the pool and everything. If that comes back on, then you go, okay, I don't need to use a generator anymore. So how do I go back to commercial power and get off generator power? Okay, so this thing is designed so that you can't hurt anybody, you can't hurt yourself. So in order for this switch, which allows commercial power to come back on, to be moved, I've got to take off this mechanically interlocked breaker, which is the generator input power. So I do this, okay, and then I do this. So we're back on commercial power. Don't forget to restore the switches on the ones that we had tripped off. That's for the ovens, the RV feed we had tripped off, and also the attic air conditioner. So that's all on. All right, so that should give you the basic knowledge on how to hook up the generator and how to go to power. We're going to turn the generator off now. Valve coming off. And then you would just take off the gas line using those wrenches. Same ones we used to put it on. You'd unhook the electrical line, restow everything when you got around to it. Or you might want to leave it out if you think that power is going to fail again. Take care. Hope to see you soon. Love you. Bye.